Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of WFM Tipsy Thursdays. I am your show host, Juanita Coley, the Contact Center Whisperer, the CEO and founder of Solid Rock Consulting. And I am super excited about this week's episode. We are talking about AI and its impacts on workforce management. So this week I have none other than the Carrie Boyd over from Zapier. Carrie, thank you so much for being my guest. I'm super excited to have you. Not only are we talking about AI in workforce management, but we're talking to you over from Zapier, which is also a technology company. So I think that that's super cool. I'm excited to hop into the dynamics of workforce management and AI. So before we do, because I get excited, most people don't wake up and say they want to be in workforce management. They fall into workforce management. So tell us, when did you fall in love with workforce management? See what I did there?
Yeah, I did, and I love it. I can tell you that it was completely by accident, just like everybody else, I think. But I like puzzles. And so when you're working in workforce management, it is really a living, breathing puzzle that you have to figure out on a day-to-day basis and really make sure that, all the bases are covered. Where are we going next? And so it's forward thinking and retrospective at the same time. So I think that I really fell in love with it because it's a constant challenge, and the industry is changing, channels change, tools change. So really grasping all of that and putting together the pieces so that we can have happy internal and external customers.
I love that. You said that is forward thinking and retrospective. That's one of the things that you gain from, loving the puzzle aspect of it, which is so true. Many times people think about workforce management as just forward thinking, but you gain so many insights from looking back and saying, how could we have done this better? What does the data tell us? But I also love that you mentioned about internal customers and external customers, because as workforce management, we're looking to serve both, right? We're serving, what we do serves internal customers, but it's for the impact of external customers. So I think that that's super interesting, insightful that you honed in on that. So our topic today, AI in workforce. Can you tell I'm geeked? Okay. So AI in workforce management. In your own words, Carrie, can you tell me how AI is transforming workforce management?
Absolutely. So AI is transforming everything around us, but including workforce management in our ability to insert large data sets and use generative technology to spit out more analysis quicker. And so really it's the ability to synthesize the data and look at it in a different way than you wouldn't have been able to prior, and a lot faster too, right? So the industries, they're all moving faster. So workforce has to move faster as well. It is increasing our forecast accuracy by looking at past data, and it's looking at algorithms that we may not have picked up. And so most workforce management tools are picking up new AI technology, ways to dig into the data and then bridge the gap between the data that you're seeing by interval and plugging that into what we need for scheduling. It also might be seeing absenteeism and shrink in a different way than we would be able to see, because it can go so far back, like going back to our point about being retrospective and saying, hey, there's a pattern in this specific interval where we seem to be either getting more contacts or we see more shrink in this specific interval. Why is that? And it'll help us dig into that why, so that we can, again, either staff up more, figure out what the agent behavior is to serve our external customers and really achieve those SLAs.
I don't have nothing to add. That was so good, right? It's so good. One of the things that you said that I absolutely loved, Carrie, was how AI is impacting workforce management and the roles of people who do workforce management by being able to really synthesize, be able to drive into that data so much to where you're able to look at information that you normally would have not otherwise been able to look into and pull out that information. So I absolutely love that you said that, because that was so good. Being able to pull out information and go back so far to where you normally with your natural eye wouldn't have normally been able to pick that up. So chef's kiss there. Okay, another question that I have for you is around a common myth or misconception around AI in workforce management.
Yeah, so this is a tough one, and I'm sure that there are varying opinions about this. But I think the misconception is that AI is going to be able to replace a workforce analyst.
Mm.
And I probably, for personal reasons, think that that's probably not true because AI, while a powerful tool for analyzing data and producing output, there is still a human element that is very much so engaged in workforce management. And that is the part about serving our internal customers. We still have humans working with humans. We still are going to have places where things arise that machine or generative AI cannot account for. So while it may make our life faster and easier, I don't think it's a full replacement for a workforce management department and the usefulness of a workforce management department.
I love that, Carrie. So good. Sorry. I get so excited. It is. I do not believe. I think we have to evolve as workforce management individuals and move into a business advisory role. But as you said, it's still us working with the business. We have that internal customer to say, because what we're doing, even though we can see so much information now we have to decision on that information. Right?
Absolutely.
Someone still has to say, okay, based on what I'm seeing and the trends and all this different things, what is the decision? And even if AI is making decisions, because I believe we will get to that point to where AI is being able to help aid in and make some decisions, is this the right decision for this scenario? Right? So I think I love that. What would be a tip? Okay, I know we're getting to the bottom of our time. This has been so good. I'm already thinking about part 2 of this, right? What is a tip or a piece of advice that you would give a new workforce management individual or even seasoned about like thinking about AI and workforce management in their organization?
I would say, I think the biggest tip is to be bold about it, right? It's coming, it's here in a lot of cases, but really taking the time to making the time to play with it. I know we're super busy, but like, figuring out, I mean, even this morning, I was plugging in some scheduling pieces and saying, can you analyze this specific spreadsheet just to see if they have holes? And you can start as simple as uploading a spreadsheet into ChatGPT, but then also attending webinars. I'm not a huge webinar kid like all the time because a lot of the time it ends up being sales pitches. However, there are some great organizations out there that put webinars on that are incredibly informative and will give you almost step by step about how other organizations are utilizing AI. That will give you ideas about how you can do it for yourself. I've been in the industry for a really long time. I think I started my first contact center in 2004, if that ages me at all. And so there's been a lot of technology that has to come in and embrace. And so I think the biggest thing is just to understand what changes it'll bring about, how it can make your life easier, and to see it as a positive.
I love that. Well, Carrie, if the people want to reach out to you and they want to find you, where can they find you and reach out to you at?
You can reach out to me at LinkedIn, and then it's also really easy to find me in Zapier too. It's just my first name dot my last name at Zapier. So happy to talk workforce management, and as you put it, geek out with any of you all at any time. I love me some data.
Thank you so much for being a guest. How epic. I absolutely love when guests come on, and like, I know people think that we prep these shows, like we don't, right? Like we give a, idea of like, hey, this is kind of what we want to talk about, but we don't pre-give answers or anything like that. And so it's just so refreshing when we talk to guests that just have such great insight and they're doing the job. Like I've said so many times before, workforce management is evolving. It is such an impactful thing when we think about customer experience, the employee experience, the overall experience of the business and its profitability. And to talk to people who are doing the job, I think that we have to normalize these conversations and highlight these leaders in the space. So I don't even have to recap this show. Like some of the things that Carrie talked about about some of the myths around like, hey, it's going to replace jobs, or, you know, we won't need workforce management departments, or some of the tips, hey, leveraging some of the webinars and those different types of things, I think was such gems for those of you that are listening and tuning in. But you already know what to do. If there is another topic that you want to cover, you know what to do. Leave me a comment, leave us a note, drop me a DM. Okay, if there's a topic that you want to talk about. Until next time, y'all go be great and let's make impact. See y'all soon. Bye.